From Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, this is Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. TicketBash.com, where memories are made affordable and where you'll never pay a service fee. Sports Bash is also presented by Ryan Anthony's Heating Service, keeping Long Island warm for over 18 years, serving their customers in Nassau and Suffolk with pride, honesty, and integrity. For more information, visit www.liboilers.com. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Every customer is considered family at the Embassy Diner. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. By Bearcat Billing Service, your trusted partner in medical billing. Experience the Bearcat way, personal, professional, and tailored to your needs. Give Gary a call at 516-796-2400 and tell him Sports Bash sent you. By the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. The third annual Evening of Thanks Gala is coming up November 14th. That's next week at the Bourne Mansion in Oakdale. For more information, go to martylyonsfoundation.org. And by Collaborate Studios, a content marketing production facility. For more info, call them at 516-509-8277. Well, hi again, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz, and how about this? How about this? We've had him on Zoom since the new show started, and now he is here in studio, the CEO of TicketBash.com, Vinny Tickets. It's good to see you.
Well, I finally got a break.
Well, we were getting a little concerned, so we had your face was on a milk carton. so now we can actually get rid of this. So I thought maybe you'd want to have that as a souvenir, because
our viewers can see that.
Yeah.
You look good. You look good.
Since we started the new show here at Governor's, we haven't seen you. The World Series got you too busy, so we were just wondering if you were okay. So we put this out on the milk carton,
yes,
and we're thankful that you were able to come in.
Well, the sentiment is very nice. I appreciate that, Peter. Thank you.
Maybe we'll just leave that out there for the rest of the show. And, of course, later on in the show, we're going to be joined by Red Bulls captain and Long Island native Sean Nealis after the Red Bulls' stunning first-round playoff upset over defending MLS champion Columbus. We'll have our ticket segment later on in the show. We'll talk about some ticket news. The phone number to call is 516-465-3990. We will have our Sports Bash Media poll question of the day later in the show. This segment is presented by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner is located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. We have an in-studio guest today, and he's not just any in-studio guest. He is now a partner in Sports Bash, a brand new partner, and we're very happy to have Ryan Anthony from Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund and Ryan Anthony's Heating Service in studio with us for the show today. It's always good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you guys as always.
And you guys have a long-standing relationship. I know you've been on his podcast. He's got a very successful podcast, and it's very, very nice to have you now part of the Sports Bash family on board as a partner and helping to spread the word.
Happy to be here.
So the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund, and we've come to know how important this has been and how great it has been for individuals on Long Island. Not everybody is cut out to go to college. I think that's plain, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. And I think that's where your organization comes into play. What do kids do after they're done with high school?
Right.
And, what kind of future can they have if they don't want to go to college, or if they're not Long Island fit for college? Right. Tell us a little bit about the group and what you try to do with your partners.
So we're basically a group of like-minded individuals looking to raise awareness to our future generation of all the alternatives that are available out there and start the kids on their path at the 9th and 10th grade level, not wait till they graduate and then figure it out. So we actually had a curriculum that my wife had made that Sachem High School picked up this year and rolled out. And I was actually just yesterday with the teacher of that class. So, 3 weeks ago, I think it was, Aiden? We went to Sachem. We talked to the kids.
Introduce Aiden to everybody.
Aiden's my videography guy.
Yeah.
So
we don't want to forget about him.
Good young guy doing good things for us. If everyone sees like our video content's gotten better, it's because of him. So anyway, we went to Sachem. We spoke to the kids that are actually in the class that we created. So it was very surreal and a big accomplishment, I think, for the cause, because we're only going into our second year right now. And we're just coming off of the gala that Vinny was at, and we raised $108,000 towards the gala. Wow. And that money is going to go towards, obviously awareness, marketing, but also the kids that go through our program, who we're not only going to just job place, we're going to give them funding to buy their first set of tools or whatever clothes, gear needed to get into their careers and give them a head start.
Yeah, I have to interject here because I'll say this. I went to the event, and when Ryan first told me about it, I was like, wow, what a great idea, And then I went to the event, and I came home, and my wife was like, well, you're real chipper. I said, I still had a little bit of a buzz going and a little bit of energy going. And I will absolutely say that I've been involved with, our company does a lot for the community. We give back. But absolutely, the youth of America is our future. And to be involved, and on a very small scale, we did a couple little things together, but to be there and see Ryan's charity at work and the people that were there and the overall concept of what he has created, number one, I'm super proud to be involved, but more than anything, I'm super proud of what you've created because it's not, a lot of times that people are always focusing, and rightfully so, you're focusing on the sick, the indigent, the people that need food. Well, this is just such a positive charity and such a positive organization because everything that you're doing is building the youth of tomorrow. So my hat goes off to Ryan and his charity and what he's creating. And I'm super proud to say I know him and to be involved and for everything that he's accomplished so far. And I know it's just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great things to come in the future.
Do you have a check for him or something?
I didn't pay him to say that. Yeah. But I will say that I am only, listen, I may have been the idea guy behind it to get this pushed forward. And, but I'm only as good as the people I surround myself with. And every day, I get someone else in their ear and they want to be a part of it and the organization grows and it's all volunteer and we have a meeting next Wednesday. I'm basically going to say that it's going to be probably one of our biggest meetings.
That's November 13th at 7 o'clock at the Piermont in Babylon. Piermont. So what you do is you try and canvas other companies, other business owners, other potential mentors to come into the group and be a part of what you guys do to try to help these individuals after they're done with high school.
Right. So I was at a tech talk actually yesterday in Levittown High School. And it was all a lot of tech teachers from Long Island, and we were discussing the same topic. And what we're doing is we're at the meetings. We have probably about 20 to 25 different mentors, we call them, and it's the president of Local 25, president of Local 802 Teamsters, Local 1 guys, Local 200 guys, non-union guys, mechanical contractors, a woman who owns a cosmetology school, a guy that owns a boat marina, another guy who owns a Honda dealership, car mechanics, stuff like that. And we also have Curtis Wright, and we know that company, but they build submarines for the government. They're like a $370 stock as of today. Big company, and they manufacture parts that go into submarines. So these are all jobs that kids and even myself didn't really know or understand about until I really dug my teeth into this. These kids come to our meetings thinking they want to be a carpenter or electrician or a plumber, and then I introduce them to someone who builds and manufactures parts for the government, and they say, oh, that sounds pretty cool, maybe I'll go that route. And then they develop their relationship, and then, once they graduate, they can go work for that person. But the other head that we do like to hit is the fact that we encourage the kids from 9th grade to 12th grade. And now this goes from 9th grade kids in high school up to 30-year-old kids come to these meetings. The 9th, 10th, and 11th graders we encourage to work. We can't force them to work. They are younger, and they don't have transportation most of the time. But the seniors, it's mandatory they have a job. So we're also looking to link up with local pizzerias, grocery store owners, stuff like that, restaurants, which we have a couple of restaurants we work with now, for kids to have more high school-oriented jobs. They need to have work experience prior to them coming to us or while they're coming to us, prior to them, getting a career job. They need that experience first.
We're talking to Ryan Anthony, our in-studio guest from Ryan Anthony's Head Start Fund and also Ryan Anthony's heating service, and we'll get to that in a moment as well, as the winter months are fast approaching, although it's 70-something degrees out here. I don't know how many people are
winter.
using their heating at home right now.
My
It's
AC
like-
was on last weekend.
I mean, this is nuts. I'm a fall and winter person. I
Yeah.
do not like the summer. I do not like the sweat. So I would like to be able to turn the heat on in the house, because I like the cold weather.
Right.
Is that sick?
No. Well,
A little strange, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people live on Long Island don't like the summertime? Well, I just don't like the heat. But we're talking about the Head Start Fund and being able to help those individuals that might not be ready for college, or might not be able to go to college after. And what is the ideal candidate that you look for in a student or an individual to be able to help? Is it necessarily the person who can't afford to go to college, or is it someone that maybe is just not equipped to go to college but wants to be able to get right into the workplace after school?
It's really anyone and everyone. And, I work with the Department of Labor, too. There's a couple people over there we have contacts with. And, a lot of the state stuff is, minority and stuff like that. And we're not saying no to that. We're just saying that it's not just about, helping minorities or people with disabilities. Or it's this needs to be addressed to everyone, because, I wasn't necessarily underprivileged, I guess you would say, would be the best word for it. My parents worked 2 jobs. We hustled, and we were considered middle class. And these options were never offered to me. These options were, all right, well, you need to graduate and go to college. That's the only option. And even to this day, like when I did the talk at Sachem, there's probably about 65 kids in one of the classes. I start off the conversation every single time. All right, how many of you guys are going to college? Every single kid raises their hand. All right, now how many of you guys know why you're going to college? 2 kids. That's the problem. Too many kids are going because that's what they're supposed to do. They flounder throughout college, party, whatever, hang out, and some of them get their degree or their diploma, and then they're floundering. 23, 24, 25. Then they come to a company like mine, and they want to have a job, and we start at $18, $20 an hour. They got a loan that's $100,000, $200,000. What are they going
Right.
to do? So it's really hard to see. That's really another one of the reasons that why we started, is because I got sick of seeing kids like that, because they would come to me, and by that time it's not that it's too late. They could turn it around, but it's late. It's late in the game.
Right.
I wanted to get into the point where 9th, 10th grade. 9th, 10th grade, these kids are full of, piss and vinegar, as I used to say, and they want to work, and they're determined. They want to make $1 million. Let's get them then. And then let's get in their minds and introduce them to the right people, have them make relationships, and it's been really good so far.
It's an interesting thing that you get in at 9th and 10th grade, because like you said, there's a lot of kids that they don't want to have to go to mom and dad, and just been there, done that, got the postcard. They don't want to have to go to mom and dad every single time and say, hey, I want to go with Jimmy to out to eat or go to a movie. They want to be there. There are kids who really do want to earn money. They don't want to just have to go to mom and dad and say, hey, you got $20 for me for the night. They want to earn it. I mean, I have 2 kids that want to go out and earn money too when they're home and not going to school. But sometimes those opportunities just aren't there, whether it's the labor laws or whatever. And I think that's where your program comes in, is to get these kids ready to experience what's going to lie ahead for them in the workplace.
Yeah, and a little tough love.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids don't know what tough love is. It's kids come to me all the time. I can't get a job. All right, I'm going to make one phone call right now. You really want a job, right? Yeah. Make a phone call to get a job. Make sure you're at the interview. That's how easy. So we have such an outsource that if kids want a job, I'll get you a job place right away. My buddy owns the Piermont. That's where we have all our meetings. He staffs hundreds of people. I get you a job. So don't give me the excuse you can't get a job. So we call them on there,
and that is the excuse. It's not always a fact. It's an excuse.
It's not just the kid's excuse. It's the parent's excuse, and then it's the parents saying, "Oh, he tried." Well, baloney.
How hard?
Baloney. Like if you really wanted to do something, you're gonna do it, and that's what we talk about at these meetings. And let's face it, I have a son and a daughter. I hope they listen to me, or at least somewhat listen to me, but kids aren't as apt to listen to their parents as they are someone that they maybe look up to as far as a mentor. So, whether it's an aunt, uncle, but these are all strangers really. But if these people could become mentors to these kids, they're going to want to strive to be like them. And that's what we're trying to institute in their brains.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a blue-collar job. I
No.
mean, it could be anything, depending on who your mentors and the companies that partner with you. It doesn't necessarily have to be, going and doing,
That's the biggest misconception that we deal with when people say trade. Trades are many different. I mean, a doctor is a trade, technically, right? I mean, a dentist is a trade, but granted, you got to go to school for a certain amount of time. Kids may come to us and we may job place them, and they may turn out that they hate working with their hands. Well, that's okay. You could still stay in an industry, and you could work distribution company. You could work doing sales. You could do inside-outside sales. You could do work for a manufacturer. I mean, there's so many different aspects of every industry. I mean, every industry is billions of dollars, and we need to introduce these jobs and these opportunities to these kids and let them make the decision early before they decide to go to college and go that route.
So, Vinny, if somebody wanted to get into the ticket industry,
There you go.
right?
Stay away.
Wait, no. I don't think
I wouldn't do it to my worst enemy.
No.
He's just
because
saying that.
we were in Las Vegas for 3 days. Oh, I was in. He was in there. He was there longer. Your phone didn't stop buzzing, and I know how busy you were during the World Series.
Yeah,
It's a good business.
Yeah, it is a good business. And, as far as, I've seen a lot of people in my industry that, they went to college or they didn't go to college, and it's not a prerequisite to be in the ticket industry, right? There are a lot of barriers of entry to come into my business, from capital to licensing, things of the sort. But, absolutely, there's a lot of trades, like you said, like being a ticket broker is a trade,
Well, here's the other thing. Kids that do go to college and do get the degree, who's helping them get a job?
Oh, I mean, you're done with school.
No one's helping. They took the money, they collected the funds, and there's no bridge to gap that either.
No, I'll tell you what happens after they're done with college.
Right.
Now they're looking for a job. So now it's costing them money to make their resumes. It's costing them money to go on job interviews, to go, if they want to get a job in the city, they got to get on the train. Right. Somebody's got to pay for the train. You just paid all that money to go to college. Now you got to get on a train and get gas and all that stuff to go on the job interview. So it is a process even beyond the education that you get.
Once again, we explain to the kids, that even the kids that do go to college, like, these are presidents of unions. These are, my buddy Billy, he owns a big electrical company, probably has 200 employees. He hires architects, he hires draftsmen, he hires estimators. These are all college degree jobs. Granted, he's a blue-collar owner, but he hires people with college degrees. So now these kids come back from college. This is the idea anyway. These kids come to our meetings, they go to college, do what they got to do. They want to be an engineer, great. Come back to us, hey, now you have this relationship that you created 4 years ago. And you came and visited, during your summer months or your off times. Now you can get some sort of pathway to a job after you graduate college.
And since we are a sports show, from a sports perspective, you could literally partner with sports teams and sports organizations, because there are a lot of kids that want to get into sports, whether it's, kids have a dream of playing in the NFL or playing Major League Baseball, but there's also kids who want to say, I'd love to go work for the Islanders. I'd love to go work for the Mets. And then that could be a possibility too, that you don't necessarily have to go to college if you can team up with the right mentor and team up with the right people, and you might be able to get that opportunity after high school.
Or narrow down what you even want to go. You may work with a mentor for a year or two. Now you're 20. Now you know what you want to go and further your education on. Maybe then you want to go for an engineer or sports medicine. I have a customer in Massapequa that's one of my first customers, and she reached out to me. She said, my son's 25 years old. He graduated. Got a degree in sports management. And she's like, I don't know if you could help him. You guys are more blue collar. I said, no. I said, we could help him. Have him come to a meeting. So he came to the meeting, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I saw him. I met him, shook his hand, and he kind of, I don't think he got a lot out of it. So I called him the next day, and I said, hey, I didn't get a chance to talk to you or anything. How did you feel about the meeting? And he said, it seems like it's more blue collar. I said, well, Tom, my friend Tom, owns the hockey rinks in Hauppauge, Port Jeff.
Great facility. Facility.
Yep. Tom Palomaro, who's a huge contributor to this. I called Tom. Tom, I got this kid. He graduates, got a degree. Maybe you could just sit with him. The guy was very appreciative. The mom was very appreciative. Tom hired him. So that's all it took. That's what people make things sound so much harder than they are.
Yeah.
It took me one phone call to him, another phone call to Tom. They worked it out amongst themselves. Now he works for Tom.
Yeah, I think people need to get rid of that preconceived notion about the trades, and about not only about the trades, but about your organization.
Right.
Because, you could do anything. I mean, when you go to these unions, there's shop stewards, there's salespeople that are out on the road all day long, and they do very well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They do very well also.
And
so
you could decide how far you want to go up with it.
Yeah.
We'll pick up this conversation a little bit later on the show when we come back after a quick timeout. One of the great upsets in local sports history and in the history of Major League Soccer took place over the weekend with the New York Red Bulls stunning the soccer world by beating the defending champion Columbus Crew in the first round of the playoffs. When we come back, we'll talk to the captain of the Red Bulls, Sean Nealis. That's when Sports Bash rolls on right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage.
At Chiropractic Care Plus, Dr. Anthony Ippolito has been helping Long Islanders recover from pain and injuries since 1993. Whether from auto accidents, work injuries, or everyday aches, they use proven methods to get you back to your best. Chiropractic Care Plus is located at 1 John Street, Suite 150 in Babylon, New York. Call 631-669-6221 to schedule your appointment today.
Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Peter Schwartz with you at Governor's Comedy Club here on Long Island, 516-465-3990. Make sure you're subscribing to Gov's Comedy Club podcast. This segment of Sports Bash is presented by Ryan Anthony's Heating Service, keeping Long Island warm for over 18 years, serving their customers in Nassau and Suffolk with pride, honesty, and integrity. For more information, visit liboilers.com. So just like, a performer at a concert, particularly the females, although, sometimes my feminine side does come out. I had to go through a wardrobe change for the interview. So over the weekend, and if you're a soccer fan locally, you know how big this was. It was probably the biggest playoff upset in the history of Major League Soccer, as the Red Bulls took out Columbus 2-0, a thrilling penalty kick shootout in Game 2 on Sunday, and the Red Bulls are on to the Eastern Conference semifinal. So I had to dress the part, got the Red Bull jersey on, got the Red Bulls hat, and I want to welcome in a good friend of the show, captain of the Red Bulls, a Long Island native from Massapequa. We want to welcome in Sean Nealis. Sean, it's Peter. How are you?
I'm good, Peter. How are you? I love the jersey. I love the hat, and thanks for having me.
Oh, no, my pleasure, and thanks for joining us. Just a quick side note before we get into the whole thrilling win on Sunday, and I'm sure you watch and listen to Boomer and Gio on WFAN, but they like to bust my chops all the time because, Sammy Steinlight, who does PR for the Red Bulls, is always leaving me stuff at my mailbox at WFAN, or sending stuff, whether it's this jersey, the hat, whatever it might be. And, Boomer and Gio like to bust my chops. They were doing it again the other day. So I said, you know what, the hell with it. When I have Sean on the show this week, I'm wearing all the stuff. So I'm going to show off the swag that the Red Bulls were nice enough to send me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I always get a nice kick when you're on Boomer and Gio in the morning. My drive in, I like listening when you're on the show. It's a great show.
Yeah.
So,
well, we like to think this one's pretty good too. So we appreciate the fact that you're on Sports Bash, because I don't know if Boomer and Gio will have you on in studio, but you're always welcome. And when you're home on Long Island, you're always welcome to come in studio. I gotta go back to Sunday, and there have been some unbelievable moments at Red Bull Arena since it opened up. And, watching that game on TV and watching the clips and seeing that crowd erupt when Daniel Edelman scores that goal in the 7th round of the penalty kicks to send you guys to the next round. Can you kind of put into words what it meant to be part of that atmosphere and part of that victory that really nobody gave you guys a chance against Columbus?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it was an amazing feeling afterwards. I mean, a lot of guys were in shock and just in awe, and we were all hugging each other. You were just finding the next guy to hug after the result. But yeah, like you said, it was an amazing atmosphere at Red Bull Arena. I think it was kind of the loudest I heard the crowd this year, and they were behind us all the way when we went down, when we went up. And after the game, celebrating with them was just what a feeling. And we want to continue doing this. We got a couple more games left, hopefully, so we want to make some history here.
12 minutes of stoppage time they had. You guys were trying to hold on to that 2-1 lead. And I'm like, they keep adding more time, like 12 minutes of which, for people who don't follow soccer, obviously there's 90 minutes to the game, the 2 45-minute halves, but then, the officials can arbitrarily, or I guess it depends on how many times there's injuries or whatever, but 12 minutes was an inordinate amount of time to add for injury time, and they wind up, tying the game, sending it into the PKs. What were your thoughts during extra time, seeing that it was 12 minutes?
Yeah, maybe it was a little long, but I think it was a really good game, and the refs wanted to give the fans a little more action on the field. Obviously, we shouldn't have conceded that goal, but it turned out not totally hurting us in the end. But we kind of learned. We'll learn from that moment and be better because of it. But yeah, it was, like I said, a great game to be a part of.
Sean Nealis of the Red Bulls, Long Island native, and their captain, joining us here on Sports Bash as the Red Bulls knock off defending champion Columbus in the first round. And now you're on to the Eastern Conference semifinals, and that is yet to be determined who you're going to play. It's going to be either Cincinnati or NYCFC, your arch rivals from crosstown. I know you don't want to speculate and look ahead, but how cool do you think it would be if you guys played NYCFC in the playoffs?
Yeah, obviously not looking too far ahead. They're both great teams, but I think it would be great for the league, great for the city to kind of have a, intercity rivalry game in the playoffs, meaning so much where, the league has grown so much and, to kind of build up that game, build up with all the momentum going in and two rival fan bases going at it. I think there's nothing better, but obviously they have a game on Saturday to decide who we play. So it should be a good one, either team that we play.
If NYCFC wins, Sean, it presents an interesting dilemma from a venue standpoint because as many people know, NYCFC plays most of their home matches at Yankee Stadium. When Yankee Stadium is not available, they move games to Citi Field. When Citi Field is not available, sometimes Red Bull Arena gets turned blue a little bit because sometimes they've had to play some home matches at your stadium, and that could be the case on November 23rd because Yankee Stadium is hosting a Notre Dame football game. I think there's a circus at Citi Field that weekend too, so it's very possible that if you play NYCFC in the next round, it will be in your home stadium, but you would be the visiting team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for that. So I think,
would you still get to use your own locker? You'd still get to use your own locker room, though, right? Even though it would be a NYCFC home game, you guys still get to use your locker room.
Yeah, I believe we would still get to use our own locker room and our own arena, and hopefully our fans show out in that game. And that's kind of looking too far ahead. We'll be ready for whoever, and we like to play whoever. I think we're just ecstatic to be moving on to the next round, and we have a lot of confidence and belief in our team.
There's so many happy Red Bull fans. I mean, this is a franchise that has been around since day one of Major League Soccer, first as the Metro Stars and now as the Red Bulls. And, the team constantly makes the playoffs, but there's always been that frustrating and disappointing end to the season in the playoffs. And I think there have been years where you guys have been favored to go a long way, and there's probably seasons like this year where nobody gave you any kind of chance whatsoever. But there is something about this group that you guys have this year. You have fought all year. You've dealt with adversity. You've dealt with, with injuries, and you've been able to have a team performance that has gotten you to this point. Your goalie, Carlos Coronel, with 3 straight shootout saves the other day. You've had all kinds of contributions from everybody. When you think about it, how great has this group been in dealing with the adversity, coming together at the right time, and now being a step closer to realizing the MLS Cup dream for this franchise?
Yeah, I think the one word to kind of describe this group is resilient. We've been resilient all year. We've had some tough games, tough moments in games where we've gone down, whether that's 1 or 2-0, and we fought and clawed back, and we showed fight to the end. We don't really kind of fold and roll over and let the game, be. We're fighting to the very end, and that was evident in the game on Sunday when we went down to a top team, the defending champs, and we came right back and scored, and then we scored again to go on top. And then even when they came back, we felt confident in ourselves in the shootout. So I think going forward, it's a great quality to have. In the locker room, we're all a resilient bunch, and I think we want to keep doing that, to keep proving people wrong.
I've asked you this before on the show and also on other platforms I've been on, but I'll ask you again for the people who are watching this edition of Sports Bash. How cool is it playing with your brother Dylan? I mean, it's one thing for one person from a family to reach the highest level of a sport. Then it's another thing for a sibling to do it. And then the two siblings actually get to play together on the same team, not far from where they both grew up. It's got to be like one of the coolest things in the world for you to be not only brothers with Dylan, but now teammates as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's probably the best for my parents because they could just come to one game and be able to support us both. But yeah, to be able to trust each other on the field kind of inherently and kind of have a good relationship on the field, off the field in that regard, and kind of improve each other to kind of make ourselves better and kind of help to make the team better. And I think he had a great game Sunday, so it's awesome to be a part of it.
I say this, Sean, about other sports. You grow up here on Long Island, and you can't go a block without seeing, two kids having a baseball catch or two kids, having a football catch. And you see lacrosse nets in front of people's homes, and you see kids playing soccer. And from your perspective as a soccer player growing up on Long Island, what was it like learning the sport that you have grown to love and made a career out of? What was it like growing up on Long Island and learning how to play this game here on the island where so many good soccer players have come from?
Yeah, I think Long Island has a rich history in soccer. The club I played at, Massapequa, kind of had a rich history too. But growing up, soccer was kind of like still the other sport. I mean, we would always pick up basketball, pick up football. But now I think the growth of soccer has been tremendous. I think when I drive through local communities, like soccer is kind of the main sport for a lot of these young kids, and it's great to see the kind of trajectory the league has done, and how the sport of soccer has kind of changed in the last 10 to 15 years. And like I said, I'm grateful to be a part of it.
How much time you spend at Massapequa Soccer Shop, and how much money did your parents spend there?
Yeah, so my two older brothers, myself and my younger brother all played, so we had some good business there.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you played at Hofstra, and that they've always had a really good soccer program, and that got you ready to play in the pros.
Yeah, I love playing at Hofstra under Richie Nuttall. They're doing well this year. They have a big game on Thursday down in Elon, so let's go Hofstra.
So the Red Bulls, you're still waiting around now for your opponent in the next round. It's going to be NYCFC or Cincinnati. What's the next week or so like for you guys as you wait to find out your opponent? Do you prepare for both teams, or do you just kind of wait it out to see who wins the game? And is it just like just regular practices? You're just doing your drills and things like that. How much homework is being done on both teams right now?
Yeah, I think we're going to wait it out until we see who we definitively have to play. I think, we got back to practice today, and it was a very competitive practice. It was a good practice. I mean, it was beautiful out, and I think everyone got their kind of energy flowing just from how nice it was today. But yeah, for the next week or so, we'll probably just focus on us being competitive, and then kind of really getting into gear and focus on who we have to play.
I really wanted to go to the game on Sunday. I felt bad I couldn't go. Obviously, Long Island's a little bit of a schlep from Red Bull Arena, but I have to work at FAN on Sunday nights and the 4:30 kickoff. It wasn't going to work out. And there was this really horrible rumor that was spread by Boomer and Gio the other day that I called up Sammy Steinleit and asked for a car to pick me up at home here on Long Island, take me to Red Bull Arena, then wait for me for after the game to take me to WFAN and then home. And I just wanted, for the record, I just wanted to be known I did not ask the Red Bulls for a car. I would love to have gone to the game, but I would like to make this. I hope the game on the 23rd if it winds up being at Red Bull Arena, if I have any power, and I know I didn't have the power to ask for a car, I'm very, very grateful for all the gifts that the Red Bulls have sent me. If there's one request that I can make, if that game is at Red Bull Arena on Saturday, November 23rd, I'd like it to be an afternoon game so I can go, because I have a previous commitment at night. So if there's any way that you can help out with that, if you can convince the powers that be, that if that's a home game or an away game in your home stadium, I'd love that game to be at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that too. I mean, the earlier game, the crowd was electric, and I'm hoping to see you there next game. It would be awesome.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of them. I've been to a couple. I love coming to the games, but busy schedule. You got to make sure that these things fit in like a jigsaw puzzle. And I can't thank you enough, Sean, for joining me on the show. Congratulations on that great dramatic win on Sunday, and best of luck in the next round, whoever you guys are playing. And if it's NYCFC, make sure you guys show that New York is red.
Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Sean Nealis, captain, defender of the New York Red Bulls after their stunning playoff win over Columbus on Sunday, and now they await the winner of NYCFC against Cincinnati with Game 3 coming up this week. Still more to come here on Sports Bash. When we come back, Vinny and Ryan will rejoin me. Vinny will talk tickets. CEO of TicketBash.com. There's some ticket stuff going on that I want to talk about with him this week. There's also a great promotion at TicketBash.com. I just saw this morning on Instagram. You know what I'm talking about?
Flyaway trips?
Flyway trip.
Yeah.
I saw one
here.
I saw one that piqued my interest, but we'll talk about it when we come back, and we'll welcome Ryan Anthony back in. We'll talk about the heating side of his business to close out the show. We'll have the Sports Bash poll question of the day. That's coming up in a little bit. We're coming right back after this.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage.
At Chiropractic Care Plus, Dr. Anthony Ippolito has been helping Long Islanders recover from pain and injuries since 1993. Whether from auto accidents, work injuries, or everyday aches, they use proven methods to get you back to your best. Chiropractic Care Plus is located at 1 John Street, Suite 150 in Babylon, New York. Call 631-669-6221 to schedule your appointment today.
Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. I'm Peter Schwartz. As we welcome you back to the program, make sure you are subscribing to Gov's Comedy Club podcast on YouTube. 516-465-3990 is the number to call here on Sports Bash if you want to join the program. This segment of Sports Bash is presented by TicketBash.com, where you'll never pay a service fee. I want to take care of some business before we get into the ticket business, before we get into Ryan Anthony's heating company as well. Not only am I the host of this show, I also have the title of program director, but I also dabble in sales a little bit. A little bit.
You're not top salesman.
Many hats.
I like to think I wear a lot of hats here at Sports Bash Media. So I am very, very excited to announce here on the show today that we are welcoming a brand new sponsor to the show this week, Living Legends Sports Memorabilia in Rockville Center. My good friend Warren Heller owns that place. It has been around for years and years, and you and I, Vinny, we paid a visit to him recently. You had a first chance to see that store.
Yeah, I bought
in
a
Rockville
bunch
Center.
of stuff for him.
Yes,
actually.
and I was there this morning to finalize everything with Warren, and he says if you need any more stuff, make sure you let him know for the office. And if you've never been to Living Legends, you have to check this place out. It is a literal, who's who of sports memorabilia. It's like walking through multiple Hall of Fames at any one time. And they're on Long Beach Road in Rockville Center. Great, convenient place. And Warren is, when I say he's a mensch, I don't know how many people know what the word mensch
on.
means.
Why don't you describe it? Go ahead.
Well, the actual terminology in the Jewish religion is endearing child. But he just an all-around really good fellow. And I've been friends with Warren for a long time, and we've been working on this together. We have to be able to work on, we used to work on a radio show together back in the day, and now we are very, very happy to have Warren on board with Living Legends, and Warren will be on the show from time to time. He'll bring in some items. We'll tell you about great sales and things like that they have. We'll take our cameras to Living Legends. Maybe he'll be on Zoom. They'll come in. But it's going to be a great partnership with Sports Bash and Living Legends, and we couldn't be happier to bring them on board as a sponsor.
Yeah, really a great establishment. I mean, anything and everything that you could ever ask for in memorabilia.
Not just sports.
No, I mean, political information, movie stars. I mean, he's got everything.
He showed me a piece today that he just got. It's a phenomenal piece. It's music. You want to guess what it is?
Bruce Springsteen.
No.
Well, if you
Who's
love
the
it, it's got to be
hottest-
Billy Joel.
Well, he's got Billy Joel stuff, but this performer is literally the hottest performer.
Taylor Swift.
A autographed Taylor Swift guitar.
Wow.
Is now
That's it,
in
big
the
money.
possession of Living Legends sports memorabilia.
Wow. How much was it?
I didn't ask.
Yeah, we need to get that on the air. Maybe, we make a sale.
Well, we can ask.
Maybe
him.
you could start selling guitars now, too.
I can host. I can run the show. I
Yeah.
can sell. We'll see. I don't know if I could sell a guitar. I don't know if that might be above my pay grade. But yes, and some just great items, autographed football helmets and footballs and baseballs, and literally I have, and I'm going to bring it in when he's on the show. I'm going to bring it in. But I have a great item that hangs in our house that I got at his store when Shea Stadium closed.
That's not your bunting, right?
No,
that's
the
a different
bunting
one.
that you like.
Can't
like
find that bunting.
No, I can't find that bunting. And my mother is searching for it, and she can't find it either. It's long gone. But I have a chair back from Shea Stadium that I got at Warren's store, and I have that hanging in the house as well. He's got great items like that, like just autographed stuff that's not autographed, just anything you want in the world of sports and entertainment. He's got it there.
Yeah, and he's a great guy too. I mean, he's very fair. I went in, I had to get a bunch of stuff. We were redoing our office. And I have to say, I know I think my son went actually, and he treated them with kid gloves and, gave him a great price and, oh, this would be great. This goes with this. And he was just super helpful and a super nice guy. So thanks, Warren.
Absolutely. The Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. We post a new poll question every weekday on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter page. Today's question: how many wins will it take the Jets to make the playoffs? 11, 10, 9, or Pete, they're not making the playoffs.
No comment.
I mean, the Thursday night win seems to have a lot of people enthused by this, and
they won that because they're not supposed to win it. That's why they won it.
So you can go on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter page and vote either 11, 10, 9, or the hell with it, Pete. They're not making the playoffs. So that is those are the choices. And before I get into the ticket news with you, a couple of weeks ago we had the John Boy Media founder Jimmy O'Brien, on the show, and we want to thank John Boy Media for sending me this hat. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, so I just wanted to thank them publicly for the nice hat and the swag that they sent the Schwartz family after that appearance a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to leave the hat out here in front.
John Boy.
Can you believe how they exploded?
Yeah.
Just from two guys in a room trying to break down audio, and then they have exploded into this media company. Kind of like a ticket guy and a sports guy starting a show out of nothing, and they're trying to evolve it into a sports media empire.
And they're well on their way.
Well on their way, absolutely. So we do every show at 1:40, and usually Vinny has been on Zoom for these things. We talk about some items going on in the ticket world. Now that the World Series is over, sore subject for you and me being Yankee fans.
Yes.
But everything calmer now around the office?
Yeah,
Things have
it's a
calmed
lot
down?
of cleaning up, a lot of catching up.
Because there was a point where you told me you didn't brush your teeth for 3 days.
Yeah, might have been an exaggeration, but slight exaggeration. Look at those pearly whites.
Yeah. But obviously, there's some other things going on now in the
Yes.
ticket world. You know, you brought up how I love Billy Joel, and he's got some big shows coming up, including New Year's Eve again at UBS Arena. But you've got a great package that's available now for Jet fans who want to go down to Miami and go see the Jets take on the Dolphins.
Yeah, so it's an all. You know what? We just found that a lot of times we do the tailgate trips up to the stadium, and there's a lot going on. You know, it's a lot to manage. So what we're going into now is we're doing these fan flyaway trips. So we actually have 4 trips right now that are going to be posted on our site. The first one of those trips is the Jets versus Miami. That package starts as low as $600 a person. You get airfare, hotel, and tickets to the game, all included. The other package that we have is we have the Giants playing Atlanta on December 22nd. And again, that package starts as low as $700, airfare, hotel, tickets to the game. Billy Joel.
Where?
Hard Rock in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, in January.
Okay. I like that.
So that'll be a flyaway trip we have. And then for the players that are out there, for the Mac Daddies, the bucket list trip, Super Bowl trip, all inclusive, airfare, hotel, tickets to the Super Bowl, those packages, and you could go out and shop until you're blue in the face. Those packages start at $8,000 a person, but that's everything. I don't think you could go out and find a ticket for $8,000 right now. So our trip starts at $8,000 a person. It's airfare, hotel, NFL experience, and tickets to the Super Bowl.
That is unbelievable. Now, you're right, because even, we don't know who's going to be in the Super Bowl yet, but depending on the matchup, you said you can't get a ticket for $8,000. Could you imagine if you had, 2 fan bases that just will pay absolutely anything to go to see the game? That number is only going to go up. If you just try to break it down and you say, "Oh, I want to go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to go buy 2 tickets. I'm going to get an airfare, and I'm going to get a hotel." That's going to be a lot more than $8,000.
Yeah, we have blocks of rooms already on location, and then the flight. It's going to be a direct flight down, direct flight back. You're going to get to go to the NFL experience on Saturday.
That's great, by the way, because I went to it when we were in Vegas for the Super Bowl this year, and I've been to it a number of times. That, to me, is one of the great things. Like even for people who just want to go to the city where the game is, and if you can't get tickets to the game, you can't afford tickets to the game, whatever it is, to be a part of Super Bowl week and go to the NFL experience, it is unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
And you're throwing that in the package.
You had a great time. Did we start making inquiries about going down to New Orleans this year?
We're gonna talk about it.
We're working on it.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna have to have a meeting about it.
Okay. Maybe at Gus's.
Maybe at Gus's. Yeah, we're gonna be going to the Embassy Diner. Absolutely.
Yes.
So Ryan Anthony from Ryan Anthony's Head Start Fund has been with us, and obviously a huge sponsor of the show now, and also Ryan Anthony, heating company. And I kind of teased this before, and when we were talking about the fund. But obviously the winter months are coming up if they ever do get here, because it's freaking 75 degrees outside, and it's November 5th or whatever it is, November 6th. And for people who live on Long Island, obviously, there's a number of choices that they can make when it comes to heating their homes. What's your philosophy, and what people need to make sure they're prepared for as the winter months come up? I
always encourage everyone on the colder nights, turn the heat on and test it. We put videos out all the time asking people to do it, but I've been in business for 18 years. I've been in the industry for over 20, and there's no preparing enough for it. When we get that first cold snap, it's mayhem.
Don't wait for the last minute to bleed the radiator.
Please don't, because you're only going to get into a fight with your wife or your husband. It makes a disgruntled phone call to us. People are already pissed off when they call us, because at the end of the day, who wants to fix a boiler? And we have an air conditioning job going in next week. So this weather is really something else. I don't know.
I can't. I mean, I've been living on Long Island since I'm 12 years old, and I can't remember a summer into fall like we have had here on Long Island. This is just nuts. Like I want to be able to consistently put a sweatshirt on, and I started the day with a sweatshirt today.
76
and then I walked outside, and I'm like, it's 75 degrees outside. I got to go put another shirt on.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. Eat it up. Eat it up.
No, I don't want
Enjoy
to.
it.
You know,
Enjoy
you know,
it
we
while
were
it
talking
lasts.
about soccer. I have to give a little a shout out. I have to give a shout out to the West Islip girls soccer team. So you guys know I go to a lot of events. Last night I went to a soccer match, and it was for the Long Island Championship. So we know, I bleed blue and gold, West Islip Lions,
Yeah.
right? So I went, and people are like, why does this guy even come to this? He doesn't have a kid on the team. He doesn't even bring his daughter. She's like, nah, I don't want to go. But anyway, it's my alma mater. I've lived in the town 58 years. The soccer game was Garden City from Nassau County and West Islip from Suffolk County. I actually got Chris, our buddy Chris. I said, Chris, come on, just take a ride with me. He's like, I don't know, Mo. I was like, just take a ride. We'll have a good time, So we went to the soccer match. And first of all, the weather was spectacular. It was a beautiful night. But I will say, and I've been to thousands of events in my life, it was probably one of the greatest events I've ever been to in my entire life. The entire game, 2 40-minute halves, I want to say. Maybe it's 30. The boys, I think, are 40 and the girls were 30. But 2 30-minute halves, 0-0, right? And so many missed opportunities, like goalies making crazy saves and open nets, and we hit the pipe, right? Goes to overtime. 2 15-minute overtime periods. The first, sudden death.
Sudden death.
2 full halves, then a 15-minute period, sudden death, nobody scores. Another 15-minute period, sudden death, nobody scores. They go to a shootout.
It's penalty kick shootout, right?
Penalty kick shootout, best out of 5. Guess what? After the first round, tied again.
Oh my God.
And they went finally, one of the girls from Garden City missed a shot. So at that point, it's sudden death. If West Islip makes that shot, that's it. And they made the shot and won.
That's awesome.
It
That-
was insane.
And
Never
you did,
ending.
and you, aside from being a resident and being an alum, you didn't have.
No, I didn't have a horse in the
You
race.
didn't have a horse in the race here.
Did not have a horse in the race.
Just fun to watch.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Actually, one of my daughter's very good friends. I'll say hello to her and give her congratulations. Number 17, her name is Leah, and she was a beast. She was up and down that sideline, fighting for every ball. She was amazing. And it's not just about Leah. I mean, the entire team, the Garden City team too, they played their hearts out. And the girls from West Islip, they played their hearts out. But Leah, great job.
Absolutely great job. Congratulations. That sounds
Yeah.
like a great game.
Oh, it was great. It was
Solid-
great.
solid game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
I want to tell everybody what's coming up on the show tomorrow. And by the way, again, we are normally on now that we're here at Governor's, we are on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock this week. The studio was closed yesterday. By the way, Tony and his compadre did a wonderful thing yesterday, going down to Florida and visiting a devoted viewer of the Knock 'em Dead comedy show and surprising him with a T-shirt. All he wanted was a T-shirt from the Knock 'em Dead comedy hour, comedy show, and a great job by Tony and Mark, right? Mike. I'm sorry. I forgot his name for a second. He looks like Billy Joel.
Yes, he gets that all the time.
I know that when you had me on the show right before we brought Sports Bash here, I'm like, did anybody ever tell you that you look like Billy Joel? And he says he gets that all the time. But that was a wonderful thing
Thank
that you did for that viewer.
Thank you very much.
And Tony's been doing a great job here, so make
He's
sure
amazing.
that check doesn't bounce.
Yep. Oops.
Checks in the mail.
So coming up on the show tomorrow, and back on even on the old show, we love this segment that we used to do on Wednesdays. Now we do it on Thursdays, Stump the Whiz. And so what we want everybody to do is send in to the Sports Bash Media X, Instagram, or Facebook page a sports trivia question that you think that WizKid Vinny Laspaduso will not be able to answer on the show. He's been 50-50 so far here on the new show.
In this studio.
In this
Yeah.
studio, he's been.
He was up at like 80% for a while.
Yeah, because he started out slow, and then he was like a machine. He was getting everything. He got stumped last week. I don't know if did you watch the segment last week with Stump the Wiz?
No, what was the
Okay,
stump?
this is a great question, and Tony was very excited because he got the answer after I gave a great hint. So, in the history of the World Series, who was the first DH in World Series play that had the initials DH?
Oh, that's a good
tough
one.
question.
This was an excellent question that was sent in, and the person who sent in got tickets to see the Nets-Pistons game on Sunday.
Wow.
Courtesy of Ticketbash.com.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I'm glad you're a winner.
Were you not part of the text conversation?
I think I was.
I don't just arbitrarily give away your tickets. I have to ask you for permission.
So what were his initials?
DH.
And he was
Pay
a
attention
DH.
here, Lou.
No, I know,
here for a little bit,
but you
I need to
confused
pay
me because you
attention.
said DH and DH.
Right.
I says, maybe he stuttered.
The
I don't know.
first player in World Series history to be the designated hitter that would have the initials DH.
Well, it's not Derek Hoff. He's a dancer, right?
See, Vinny always goes off topic. And now is it the name Vinny?
Tangent.
Is it the name Vinny that you go off topic?
DH. No, I don't know.
1986 World Series. Do you remember who played in the 1986 World Series?
Was it the New York Mets?
It was. You know who
Yes.
they played?
The New York Mets played the Boston Red Sox.
Right. So it was
And it had to be
How the hell do you remember that?
do you know it?
Tony, you want to give him the answer?
Give me the first name. Give me the first name.
Well, we'll tell you that he played on the Mets.
He played
We'll
on
tell
the
you
Mets.
That. We'll tell you that.
1986 Mets. See, we would have stumped Vinny.
Stump the ticket guy.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have a segment called Stump the Ticket Guy.
Stumped the win.
I'd be 0 for 100.
And Tony was very excited because he got the answer to the question. And the answer was?
Danny Heap.
Danny Heap.
I never would have gotten it. I do know the name, but I never would have gotten it.
So if you want to try and stump the whiz tomorrow, send in to Sports Bash Media X/Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook your best sports trivia question. And if we pick your question and you stump the whiz tomorrow, we'll give out a prize courtesy of Ticket Bash. Now, since you're here in person and can't not say that you don't remember saying that I can give away Nets Pistons tickets, do you want to pick a game?
Do we have the winner? Do we know who the winner is?
Yeah, but I forgot his name.
Oh,
It was
okay.
last week.
But I have to give you the Andrew is now handling the winners.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
not worried about that. I'm worried about tomorrow's show.
Tomorrow.
Do we have something we can give away tomorrow?
What do we want to give away? Maybe we'll give away anything.
We have
Islanders.
former Islander Steve Webb is here tomorrow.
So we
in the
have to
studio.
give away. We'll do Islanders.
We'll do a couple Islander
Yeah, we'll
tickets.
announce the game tomorrow.
Okay, absolutely. You'll let me know later today,
Absolutely.
or we'll figure
Yep.
it out when we go to lunch.
Yes.
So that'll be on tomorrow's show. We're going to give away tickets for Stump the Wiz. It'll be 2 Islander tickets. And that brings us to our special in-studio guest tomorrow. And I'm really excited about this because I got to cover this guy when he played for the Islanders, late 90s, early 2000s. He was an enforcer. He was a tough guy. And he was one of the very, very few players can have a chant that's his entire name. And I remember, back in the day, people would chant Benoit Hogue, Benoit Hogue. That was the chant. And this guy's chant was Steve Webb, Steve Webb. And he scored goals. He was a good player, but he was an enforcer and a tough guy. And now him and his wife, Teresa, in addition to being an Islander alum, they do a great job with this Team Up for Community initiative, where they empower athletes to create positive change through sports. And he is going to be in studio with us for the hour tomorrow. We're going to talk about his career with the Islanders, what he's doing with youth sports here on Long Island. That's going to be a great hour. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to pick out my Islander garb tonight that I'm going to wear here on the show tomorrow. You'll let me know what tickets we're going to give away for Stump the Wiz. And it was really nice to see you today.
Oh, it was very nice to see you too.
Yeah,
Peter.
absolutely. It's one thing to be on Zoom with you, but it's
No,
we
in person.
started this. We
In the
started
flesh.
You could touch him.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, whatever.
It's a
Not
hologram.
that one.
I'm not a hologram.
It's one thing to be on Zoom, but it's nice to have you in studio
Thank
like it
you,
was
Peter.
intended to be.
Thank you,
And
Peter.
Ryan Anthony, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for
great
having me.
work with the fund, and thank you for being part of the Sports Bash family now as a sponsor, and best of luck with everything. And I'd love to come to one of the meetings.
Next Wednesday.
I have to check the schedule.
You see that?
You
That's
know
what
me
usually
where I have to check
happens.
the schedule.
I'd love to come. Oh, it's next
right on.
Wednesday. There you go.
Well, you know how
Yeah.
my schedule is crazy. You know,
Yes.
I literally, the first thing there's two things I do when I wake up.
I'm not making you feel bad, am I?
No, not at
No.
all. If I can come, I'm going to come. But there's two things I do when I wake up in the morning. The first thing that I do is I
Brush your teeth.
Well, I don't forget to do that.
Yeah.
I check the calendar to see where I'm working that day.
Right.
Because I have 18,000 jobs. And the other thing I do is I pick up the newspaper and I check the obituaries. If I don't see my name, I go on with the rest of my day. That's what I do. Those are the first two things I do every day. So that will wrap it up for this edition of Sports Bash, presented by Ticketbash.com and Ryan Anthony's Heating Service. Sports Bash is also sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Bearcat Building Service, the Marty Lyons Foundation, and Collaborate Studios. Big thanks to Tony Walker and everybody here at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown for their absolute fantastic hospitality. For our entire crew, I'm Peter Schwartz. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Have a great day, everyone.